Hi guys, welcome back. This morning I am busy. I have a ton of projects that I have to do today, and I'm going to bring you along for the ride for some of it. So I cut one of those small pumpkins that I got the other day in half. I'm going to steam this off. I'm leaving the seeds and the pumpkin guts in there because the chickens like them. The chickens and the rabbits, it's such a nice treat for them. I'm so glad that I got these. They absolutely love them. So I'm going to get this in the oven and I'll just roast that off. Usually you roast it till it's pork tender. Now if I was doing it for us, I would have seeded it and saved the seeds and cleaned them. I just have too much going on today to do all that. So that being said, the next project is going to be my soup. I'm going to make potato, cheese, and broccoli soup with a twist. I'm adding some sweet potato in there. And the reason I'm adding sweet potato, first off, it's the season. Secondly, they're so good for you. I think nutritionally, you can't beat them. They're really, really good for you. And nobody will ever know. It'll add a little different depth of flavor. And, well, they'll never know unless they watch this video. All these peels are going to go out to the compost pile. I was told by somebody on YouTube, and I just really appreciated it, because I used to give them to the chickens, and he said that there's, it can actually kill them. There's something in potatoes that is toxic to chickens, and I did not know that. So thankfully I haven't lost any, but, and I haven't had any problems, but you know, now I don't do it. So there you go. My pine nuts are starting to boil back here. So I'm going to turn that down so it can just sit there and simmer. And let's see. It's probably going to take about 2 pounds of cheese, a pint of cream, and I reserve a lot of the cooking liquid just because I'm going to put an onion in here as well. Actually 2 onions, since we're kind of doing a double recipe. And yeah, so there you go. Alright YouTube, I'm going to get this out to the compost pile, and I've got to put up a wind block for the rabbit, and I'm a busy girl. So alright, now I'm making the tortillas. I've got my flour. This is a fair amount of flour. It's probably 6 cups, I'm guessing. I've got my shortening in here, and I'm just breaking that shortening up with my pastry cutter. And I did a fair amount of salt, probably a tablespoon and a half at least. And it smells good in here. It smells like pine nuts. Okay, and now I need to add hot water. So what I want to do is get a measuring cup. And I probably should have done this before. So I may have to shut you off and bring you back. But I'm going to put a measuring cup full of water in the microwave and get that as hot as I can stand it to mix in with this. And what that does is it distributes the shortening all throughout the dough evenly, and that's when you get those big pockets of bubbly goodness when you're cooking them up. Perfect. Okay. So now we're ready to start rolling these into balls, so they're ready to roll out after they've rested. And I think it's really important that you rest them. As important as it is to actually use the hot water. It's important. So you want these the size of a large meatball. My favorite tortilla pan, in my little cast iron skillet, I just like to fill the bottom. That one might be a little big. And you get your little rhythm going about how much to pinch off pretty quickly. So Anyway, I'm going to roll all these out. I'm going to cover them with a dampened dish towel. I have my favorite tortilla dish towel. How that dough's coming along. You want a nice, soft, pliable dough that you can start incorporating the rest of that flour in with. I may not have enough water yet, but we're going to try it. I don't know if I've told you guys this, but I think I did. I cut the top off of a 1-gallon freezer Ziploc. It's important that it's a freezer bag. They're a little bit thicker. And then I open up the sides, and this is how I roll my tortillas. So my dough balls have rested now for about 25 minutes. I actually, while I was letting those rest, I debated whether I should go ahead and do another batch. And I thought, you know, why not? That's just one day I don't have to do it later. And I'll put them in the freezer. So, let's get these rolled out. Sometimes they're really pretty and perfect. And sometimes they're really rustic and interesting. And I prefer rustic. So, I'm not going to get crazy about perfect roundness or any of that. And it also takes a couple of times to get to where you know your temperature is right. Okay? So, get this rolled. Please peel your plastic wrap back. This just makes it so easy. And your tortilla comes right off. And put it right down in the pan. Just like that. And while that one's cooking, I get started on another dough ball. Because you gotta kind of keep an assembly line going. So I'll show you what I've been doing. I'm actually on tortilla number 25 of the first batch. So I've been putting them in here and keeping the lid on and keeping them hot. And then every 8, I fold them up into some foil. Now I still have the second batch to go. This has taken me almost an hour to do these. So it's not hard, it's just a little time consuming. And that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap these in foil so they can continue to cook. You don't want a raw taste to your flour tortillas at all. So actually, maybe a pound of broccoli. I have 2 pounds of Velveeta and a pound of cheddar and jack cheese in here. And a pint of cream and another quart of chicken stock, and I reserved quite a bit of the liquid from the potatoes and onions. So I also crumbled the bacon that I cooked earlier, and that's in here. And I threw the broccoli in last because I want it to keep some kind of, I don't know, vegetable texture. I don't want it to be mushy and fall apart and end up, you know, part of the mash. So I'm just going to heat this enough that the broccoli gets tender, but not, you know, it still has a little bit of a bite. It'll add some interest to the soup. And I'm going to serve it up. So this is my day. It's now 6 o'clock. I did 4 dozen tortillas, cleaned out and protected the rabbit hutches. I went to Costco, I went to Walmart, I did laundry, and cooked pine nuts. And I cooked some pasta ahead because we're going to have a different meal ahead. So, you know, I try to cook ahead for the week, and I hope this helps give you some ideas. I hope it inspires you to plan ahead and figure. Alright, you guys, this is the finished product, and it's beautiful. I used the immersion blender, and it just came out really creamy, and it's amazing. So I truly do hope this inspires you to try to do something outside your little box. This is such a hearty winter soup that we can't resist, and this is good for breakfast. So just in case you didn't know, it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner stuff, but it's also a sometime thing. We don't have this all the time, believe me. And this was a request for a potluck, and so I decided I would, since I had to cook it for that, I'd make us a meal too. And so, anyways, taste this for you. Wow. You can taste all the components, the broccoli, the onion, the bacon, the potato, and I actually do taste a hint of sweet potato in the background. So that's amazing. I got a little extra vitamins in there for us, and we're going to enjoy this soup tonight. So YouTube, I hope this helps. I hope it